with, hate to love. So this is that. And shout outs to Quinten, who is my mixing and mastering engineer for this tune, and he helped me group all this stuff together. So yeah, I have an overview of the creation process. Somebody asked me how long did it take to make this song. The song itself is this is not the final, this is not the original iteration. Like I went through this song 5 times prior to, and each one sounded like a different thing. I actually hate the original one. Like I was doing some weird like I don't know what I was on, but it's completely different than where we are now. But with all the stuff I was absorbing over the last few years, particularly with all the K-Tronada and the Flying Lotus, I was like, I really want to try to tap in the house. So I was like, hey, this is where I feel like this is going. And I think that it started off really good. So the first thing I did when creating this particular iteration of it, the music came first. The lyrics weren't, I had the first verse, but everything wasn't completely done. And the hook, of course. I have been using Splice a lot in the last year. A friend of mine, a music producer, a fellow producer, put me onto that. And I'm like, this is so dope because it's not just about dragging and dropping things and putting them somewhere, but it's about taking this and being able to manipulate it and reverse it and change the tempos and keys and chop up things and sample things. And it's so many possibilities. So I found this drum
And real
loop.
quick, don't forget to mute the sometimes track.
Thank you.
Yep.
Because I would. So yeah, so I have this first loop that I got off of there, which you can kind of hear is the essential essence. And then I took this other loop that I heard and I pretty much put them together. So from there, I went and I added in an extra kick. And the kick, I use this is a particular kit that I use that I got a long time ago off the internet called this Ninth Wonder external drum kit. I don't remember the website, but it's a whole pack of Ninth Wonder kicks and snares and cymbals and all hi-hats and everything. So that's like what I primarily produce everything with. So I use that to add in that backbeat kick drum that you hear so often in house music that's here. And then all the rest of the tracks here these are all stock, Logic stock sounds. People sleep a lot on the stock sounds, the VSTs that came with Logic, but I don't. Whenever I'm producing, I'm in Logic Pro 10 right now, but everything that I use is still from the native, not Logic 9 library. So I went and gathered a bunch of different FX sounds, like the bells and the wood blocks and air percussions, just to kind of give it that cosmic edge. And it really was just a matter of playing around. I'll literally be down here for hours just placing things or trying things or messing with dynamics and seeing what it came up with. So this is how that turned out. So after that, the next part that came was the melodic portion. And it's already expanded. Yep. So I had this little fairy sound that I found on Splice, which is like the first thing you hear in the beginning of the song. So and that's actually something that I chopped up and kind of rearranged. So from there, I just built everything around that. So I added in a Wurlitzer electric piano. And it sounded real 90s-ish too in here once we really start getting into development. And from there, I added in piano. I love octave notes. I feel like it just adds a really nice touch on things. And this also makes it sound super like 90s. Oh yeah, yeah, ooh, yeah. The piano here. And then I added in a synthesizer lead and a whistle on top of that. And the only other thing that was missing from that was the bass. I learned this trick from Quinten. I try to make my basses be complementary of the kick drum. I want them to be complementary of what's happening in the percussion. So I built it around the busyness that I knew was happening with the groove. So I had this here. And then combined together with the track, it's all here. She's so loud. Goddamn. Oh, and one other melodic thing that I wanted to mention. I did have another collaborator on this song aside from the person that sang. A good friend of mine, Curtis Crump Jr., who Emmett knows because he's also from Milwaukee, but also lives out there in LA with him and work with him. Uh, he is amazing on the sax, and he actually plays and played in one of the bands that Quinten is in. He came right before he left for LA, as a matter of fact, and laid down some stuff for me on this, and I was just like, wow. So we got this here. I also had to add flutes because I play flutes. I was like, I got to put my touch on this somewhere, you know. So this is all just live flute that I put a filter on. Super, super cool. I gotta remember to stop doing that. You heard a little bit of the melodic stuff when I played the hook. So the overview of the lyrics, the song is about jealousy. That's a common theme that I feel like we all experience in some capacity. I really hate when people try to pretend as though they like I've never been jealous of anybody in my life. False, my guy. Okay, there is no such thing as a human being on this planet who has never experienced the emotion of envy in some way, shape, or form. They come in stages, they come at ages, but everybody feels it. So rather than trying to be on that, like, I got haters, blah, 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 it was more me facing it abruptly and face on. Like, yes, I'm envious of this. So that's what the first verse is about. Like, sometimes we don't like things or people and for reasons unbeknownst to us, but we just try to like acknowledge that emotion. So lyrically, that was where I was leading from with that.
I got this feeling that I can't deny, 'cause I only feel it when you walk by. It's overwhelming, no, I can't lie, but I really hate you, and I don't know why. 'Cause every time, every place that I see your face, it's always reminding me that I'm good as hell, but somebody else is always ahead of me. No matter what you do or where you go, I'll still be the one you see. 'Cause I do it better than you do, whatever, and I'ma be the one they need. Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right. The first verse is the acknowledgement of that feeling. And the second verse, what it eventually became was somebody responding to getting that from somebody else, you know? Now, I didn't actually have the second verse written until the feature joined. So, Ileana, shout outs to Ileana, of course, for sure. I'm talking about who she is in a second because it's connected to this. But she knows who I'm talking about, and Quinten knows. The feature who's singing on the second verse was also an incredible musician who I have been following for the last couple of years. And what happened was in 2020, at the height of the pandemic, when we all were kind of just at a standstill musically, he put a thing on his Facebook, and he was like, listen, we all in the house. I ain't doing shit. Y'all send me some stuff. Let's collab. And I was like, woo. And people do that all the time. I see people tweet that all the time, like, send me y'all tracks. And nobody, it's like a needle in a haystack. But I was like, I have literally nothing to lose at this point. I was feeling the effects of the pandemic too. I lost like 3 of my jobs. All my gigs were gone. So I was like, let me just, the worst that can happen is that it'll just be like everything else. And I sent him No More, which was a song from my last album, and a couple of other things. And to my surprise, he responded. And I was like, oh, okay. He was like, yeah, I'm really digging this, especially No More. So he was vibing. So he was like, what you want me to work on? And I was like, I got the perfect song. I didn't have anything in mind yet that I wanted him to do. I was like, wow, I don't want to lose this opportunity. So I was like, wait a minute. Hate to Love is there. It's not finished, But now that I know that he's interested, I want to write it in his voicing. So I was like, let me go ahead and do this and write the second verse and then send it back to him and see if he like it. And I did, and he did, and we was cool. So the person who's featuring, he is a member, a longtime member of the Erykah Badu musical camp. He himself is most notably known for co-producing and featuring on Free Fall on the K Tronada Bubba album. His name is Durand Bernarr. Woo! Yes, super exciting stuff. I had no idea that he would even get back to me. Especially somebody of his stature. So I was super excited. And then once he was like, "Yeah, I'm messing with this song," everything kind of took off. Like, he sent me his price, because nothing comes for free, and he got me in contact with his manager and asked for like a contract write up and then the percentage that he would need for like everything. And I was like, I can do this. I was like, no, I can do this. So me at the time, I didn't have a whole lot of money. Nobody else knows this but Quinten. I didn't have a whole lot of money, especially with me trying to finagle stuff after losing all of my gigs and things for the pandemic. So I went on Facebook and I was like, hey, y'all, I have a very important opportunity that has arisen for me. I just need a little bit of help to tide me over, to help me lock it in. I can't talk about what it is, but just know it's going to be really important to my musical career. And people are so amazing. Like, my friends and my family, I raised the money for the rest of that money for in less than the 24 hours. So I was like, look at God. I was like, God must want this to happen. So I took that as my motivation, and everything from there has just been seamless. We went back and forth. Trey, he would send me his vocals back and everything. Once he got his the second verse recorded that I wrote in his voicing, then I had what we have is the response to verse number 2, which I can get unmuted down here. Un momento, por favor. So this is verse 2.
That's how I feel.
Something about your spirit, something about your vibe. Give me this feeling that you ain't that kind. I be a little jealous, cause you see me. And I be the ending, beginning of everything in between. Cause every time, every place that I see your face, it's always reminding me. You're telling somebody else is always trying to hate on me. No matter what you do or where you go, I'll always be the one you see. Cause I do it better than you do whatever, and I'ma be the one to be.
Just killing for no reason.
That's ridiculous.
Just for no reason. I'm like, always, that's how we coming? Man. So then when I got when he sent me everything back and we got to the last chorus, I hadn't recorded the last chorus yet. So I wanted to see what he was going to do. So I had the most fun just playing back and forth with his ad-libs on the outro, which you'll hear. And oh my God, like this is the most vocally developed song I have ever done for me. I had to pat myself on the back because I was like, I'm like, damn, Britney, like, you kill it. There was moments I was out here like, oh, I'm so excited. And then I love everything that this has kind of like taken me forward with because of getting connected with Durand. I luckily got connected also with his affiliates and his friends. Ileana, who's in the chat with us, works with Nucleus Creative Agency, and she has been helping me with this entire rollout, guys. And I'm so happy and so excited because this experience is new, but it's been amazing and it's been a great learning experience. And I love the collaboration relationship that we have together. And I definitely super grateful for just being incidentally put into all of these new things for myself. So shout outs to all of that. Hey, okay. So without further ado, I'm going to unmute and unsolo things so you guys can hear the full culmination of the song, which is known as Hate to Love.
and I don't know why. 'Cause every time, every place that I see your face, it's always reminding me that I'm good as hell, but somebody else is always ahead of me. No matter what you do or where you go, I'll still be the one you see. 'Cause I do it better than you do, whatever, and I'ma be the one they need. Yeah, that's how I feel. That's how I feel. It's so for real. That's how I feel.
Something about your spirit, something about your vibe. Give me this feeling that you ain't that kind. I be a little jealous, 'cause you see me. And I be the ending, beginning of everything in between. 'Cause every time, every place that I see your face, it's always reminding me. Telling somebody else is always trying to hate me. No matter what you do or where you go, I'll always be the one you see. 'Cause I do it better than you do, whatever, and I'ma be the one to be.
Down to hit ya. That's how I feel.
That's I'm for real, honey.
That's how I feel. Really, really love to hit ya. Yes, I'm for real. Why can't we be successful, doing our own thing? Encourage, no hate, please. There's room for everybody, don't you know? You got a dim, I like to shine, and I got a dim, you like to shine. We got a dim, I like to shine. Go get yours and I'll get mine. You got a dim, I like to shine, and I got a dim, you like to shine. We got a dim, I like to shine. Go get yours and I'll get mine. That's how I feel. That's how I feel. Oh yeah.
Yes, I'm for real.
That's how I
Voila! Yay!
Oh my
That
God,
was
that was
awesome.
so good.
Thank you. I have been dying to share that with people.